Morning everybody. Today we're going to be taking the straw packs out of the corrals. So we hopped in the case loader. Tractor's warming up right now. We put the solid manure spreader on there and we're just heading out to the corrals right now. Me and Dad already moved the cows over. I always want to put the loader in the corral before I come and grab the manure spreader, otherwise the spreader is going to block off the corral and I won't be able to get in there. So always starting out with the loader. And we already took all the slop out of these corrals, so they're all pretty dry and we can get straight to working on that straw pack. Usually I gotta muck around in these corrals, but we don't have to do that this year, so it's pretty nice. I'm just gonna start by cleaning up this little darker area here. It's still a little bit mucky there, I guess, and that's where I want to park the manure wagon. When I clean these corrals out, the straw packs, I always want to back the wagon in. It's just a lot easier loading. And we also gonna try and stay out of the way of the feed wagon. It's always feeding in the morning and it's got to drive through the feed lot here, so we don't want to get in his way. Just dug into the straw pack and you still see some snow. Hopefully there's not going to be too much frost and having it give us trouble. I think we'll be pretty good though. Usually the straw packs, they don't freeze up too solid even in the winter time. So let's grab that wagon. Pulling up to our corral here. Let's see how well I can back in. Pretty good. You can see there's still plenty of room for the feed wagon to drive by. I got the heaters maxed in the tractor and the loader as well. It's a pretty cold morning. I think we're at like -3. It's crazy how quickly your perception adjusts, I guess. From 2 months ago, -3 would have been like the warmest day and now it's freezing. But let's get this first load loaded up, head out to the field. First wagon's loaded up. I'll always try to load the front higher than the back, just because this door only opens up so far, and if you try to push really tall manure through the door in the beginning, it doesn't flow through so well, and sometimes it'll actually get hung up on the door and won't be pushed through. So just to try and avoid that hassle, we try and stack the front a lot higher than the back. Another thing we did a week ago or so, I switched these knives or these teeth around. You can see the inside is kind of dull. That should be pointy. I think it's actually supposed to be like that, pointy. It's just completely rounded out. They're double-sided, so we just switched them around. New nuts and bolts, and we got some sharper teeth again. So I think it's going to spread a lot finer over the field. It was starting to get a little bit chunkier, like larger lumps in the fields, and we don't really like that. We like to seed straight through this manure. We don't want to harrow it at all after we put it on the field. So it's got to be spread as fine as we possibly can get it. So we kind of think that's going to do a better job of spreading this stuff over the field. So we're at the field that we want to spread on. This is 145 acres of land that's never had manure. Again, it's a pretty far field from our farm, but it's never had manure. It could really use it, and we'll get the most bang for our buck out of the manure like this. So just going to start the spreader up, idle all the way down, turn the PTO on. There she goes. So with the straw pack manure, I'll just open the door on the spreader all the way wide open right away, because it's not going to flop all out like that slop would. With the slop, I'm slowly opening the doors a little bit more and a little bit more, but you don't need to do that with the straw pack. And then right away you got to turn that floor chain on. With the slop, it kind of flows out, and then after, once it's kind of all flown out, you got to spin the rest out with the floor chain. So you can see in the tree row here, still a bit of snow, and that's all the snow that's left out here, just in these carry gander rows where there was some big snow drifts. Otherwise, all the snow pretty much is gone. And you know what, we might even be pulling the cedar through those banks there next week, because it takes forever for those things to melt. But everything else, all the snow, pretty much gone. So that's the first load. You can see the door there, the gate only opens up so far. And now that's what I was saying, we don't want to heap it too far right in front of that door, because it's just not going to be pushed underneath. And it did a really good job spreading it out. It's super fine. So this is just a chunk of ice. But for the rest, like if this is the biggest little pile of straw, that's not bad at all. No, it's definitely doing a really fine job of spreading it out. That's load number 2, and we use the case loader to scoop up the straw packs. It does not have a grapple, but we're actually able to scoop up the straw pack really well, and that's because we use our bed buster to bed these corrals in the winter time, and that thing shreds up those straw bales really fine, and there's no really long strains of straw in there, which makes it a lot easier to scoop up. So if we were just to shake out all the bedding always throughout the winter in these corrals with the New Holland wheel loader and the grapple, the straw would be a lot longer, and it kind of ties together a lot tighter, and it's way more difficult to scoop up without a grapple bucket. So awesome enough, we're able to get away with scooping all these straw packs out of the corrals with the case loader, and it works perfectly fine for us. Except this year, I think we are going to use the New Holland with the grapple to clean out these shelters here. We just have the 3 corrals with shelters, 2 there, and then the 1 across there. It's a lot easier to kind of pull the bedding out from underneath those shelters with the grapple. And this thing takes quite a long time to clean it out, because you got to be really careful around all the support beams underneath those shelters. But first 6 corrals out here with no shelters, that thing's perfectly fine. So this is a pretty awesome comparison. This is where we've been spreading this morning. 3rd load's right there. And I actually spread a bunch of solid straw pack here last fall, so we can really see the comparison with those teeth switched around on the beaters of the spreader. So it's really easy to see if there was any impact switching the teeth around, and there definitely is. Barely any chunks here. And this is where I spread last fall, and you can see, look at these lumps here. Even these, there's not a single one as big as this on that side of the tree row. Made a big impact switching those teeth around, and I guess we probably could have done it a lot sooner. They're getting pretty dull already last spring. You never really think it's going to make that much of a difference, but it does make a difference. So we'll be on top of that next time, switch them over sooner. Yeah, I think I'm gonna win this game of chicken. It is about, what are we, 10:38. It was going so good this morning. We just blew a hydraulic line. It was just oozing oil out like there's no tomorrow on the spreader. And that's gonna stop us here for a bit. So somewhere in here you can see it's all soaked in oil. I'm gonna bring it back to the yard and then someone can watch and see exactly where it's starting to leak as I run this floor chain. So it is the hydraulic line for the floor chain, which is really unfortunate. Can't spread without that. So I'm gonna run that line now. My dad's there, he's gonna watch where it comes out. So this is the hose right here. It just broke right off of a fitting, which is right here. And that just snapped right off. Annoying thing is this goes up through the frame all the way to the back of the manure spreader. So we're gonna tie a wire through this and then we'll pull it out from the back end. That way we have a rope or a wire going through, and then we grab the new hose from the city, tie it on there, pull it back through, and that's how we'll get it back in. So this was connected like that. She just came loose. Son of a bad luck. Just make sure it's good. See that thing in a bit. We're gonna rip out to Saskatoon, grab some new hoses. Got the old ones in the box. Means we can get a nice double-double.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hey, can I get 2 large double-doubles, please?
2 large double-doubles, sure. Anything else for you?
That's everything.
That's everything you can grab. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Look what I got for you.
Thank you. Hey, that's how you're supposed to do it, eh?
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah.
Got our new hoses. I had the shop label them the exact same as these. The one line is a little bit longer, so we got to make sure they're going in the right spot. And we also labeled which one goes where over there. And then we're going to hook both of them up to this rope, and hopefully we can pull them nice and easily all the way back through to the front and get these things re-hooked up. So we got our new hoses coming from back through the frame and right to our drive for the floor chain, which is right here. There's a bit of fluid leaking there. That's just from the manure that's in the wagon still. I already checked it, it's not oil. So $600 worth of hoses, about 5 hours of lost time, and 2 double-doubles later, we're ready to hit the field again, start hauling loads out. Let's get back at it. So she's still spinning here. Those are looking pretty good. Yeah, there's no leaks there either. Here you guys can see the floor chain. That's how it pushes all of the manure back through these beaters here. Finally back for another load. I totally turned the payloader off before I went to the city, so it didn't run the entire time I was gone for like 3 hours. Don't tell Greta. I thought I was done with the snow today, but I guess not. I'm probably gonna get a few people commenting, why are you taking the straw out of the corrals? Don't the cows need to lay on that? And if you check this out, given the choice, more cows will actually prefer dry ground versus a straw pack. This corral still has it, and they're all laying in the front except for one cow. So if it's dry, they'll rather lay on dry dirt. So yeah, so I guess this is a pretty accurate way to describe Saskatchewan. There's snow right now, sun shining, typical. So that's cool. When I was out in the field, Dad hopped in the wheel loader and started cleaning up the edges of the corral. It's always really easy to grab an ice full bucket when you first start cleaning out the corral because there's so much straw packed, but towards the end you always got to clean up right along the wooden fence. And that's the thing, it's wooden, you got to be really careful, otherwise you'll just push that fence over. So it's a tedious little job trying to clean all of the manure right off of those windbreaks. So it's always awesome when my dad hops in the loader and does that for me when I'm out in the field. Really speeds things up. You guys can see it's starting to get dark outside. We're gonna call it a night. Didn't get as much done today as we wanted to, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Hopefully tomorrow's gonna be a better day. And yeah, we'll get back at it tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out the Instagram @SaskDutchKid, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.